Hi everybody, it's Linda. I'm back again to show you one of the journals that is in my Etsy shop. This is a favorite one of mine. I had so much fun putting it together. It is a daisy themed journal, which really essentially means it has lots of happy pastel colors, yellow, pink, blue, and it is quite a big girl. It's got 2 signatures. I used some Liberty of London and a favorite vintage fabric for the cover and this pretty applique. And some sari silk that I got from an Etsy shop that was dyed so perfectly almost to match. It was such a serendipitous find. And I also have a little beaded dangle here that hangs from the sari silk. It's got a little butterfly at the bottom. And for this journal, I made the packaging from, I made the cover from some Amazon packaging that I covered with fabric, and I made these little fabric tab little closure pieces. Also lined the inside with, which you probably can't see, lined the inside with this vintage dotted Swiss fabric and did some decorative stitching with my machine all around the diameter. Okay, and then this tag here is just a pretty little introductory tag there. I used at least one digital kit, and I will link these digital kit information in the description box, and use some vintage rickrack to line the page. Love this. It's a quote. It says, "There isn't much that I can do, but I can share my flowers with you, and I can share my books with you, and sometimes share your burdens too, as on our way we go." Thought that was a great one, especially if you give this as a gift. I thought that was a wonderful sentiment. Lots of my own coffee dyed paper in here, and this is a page from a vintage crafting book. Some of my stash of scrapbook paper. Here's a fun pocket made out of some Kool-Aid dyed loose leaf paper, and I made this little booklet. This adorable image. This is from a Red Lead Paperworks collage sheet. Little journaling card, a daisy tag, and a couple of hand-dyed Kool-Aid and coffee stained dyed tags. Some children's ledger paper. I love using, I have several yearbooks from the 1940s, and I put them in my journals whenever I can, so this is one page. I typically will try to cover up most of the names just in case. It's a smaller world than we realize sometimes. Okay, this is a fun two-way pocket here that has some daisy-themed journaling cards. Just happy. Daisies are happy. There's some wedding paper that has some happy daisies. There's some paper that I colored with distressings. Now, this is one of my coveted vintage laces. How cool is that vintage lace? I used a snippet of it in here because I just had to. Some vintage atlas, another journal card, a page from a gardening book, some more of my scrap paper. Here is a flash card that I sewed around. It says grow, and some bees. The bees seem to go along with daisies, don't they? And this is another favorite daisy scrapbook paper and a favorite vintage trim. This is a flip with some vellum, inspirational words, little page decor there. This is one of my favorite little pockets, tag pocket holders. I made this with Gail Augustinelli on her channel. I followed along with her one day. I am such a fan. I just love spending time with Gail on her channel. It's like she's a friend and I've never met her. But anyway, it's a woven pocket and there's 4 little tags and they each go their own little cute direction. Isn't that great? And I absolutely love the mustard yellow. Mustard yellow with the pink. And these little daisies, little pink daisies that go along. And I've added some more of the Liberty of London fabric. Guilty pleasure of mine are Liberty of London fabrics. Here's an old ledger. Did a little bit of a play with some stencils. This is a vintage little partial greeting card. It's flocked. This little ridiculously adorable little kitty with the blue eyes holding up daisies. Thought she needed to be in there. And then this is just a tag that I made quite a while ago, and it looked like it belonged in here as well with the colors. And we'll keep going. This is kind of a big journal. I guess maybe I should speed it up a little bit. Here's a bag, so you can put lots of goodies in there, or mementos, or journaling. It's got a Project Life card in there, a large Project Life journaling card. This is probably one of my favorite pages. This is scrapbook paper that I love, and I sewed around it, and this is kind of a signature trim of mine. A lot of the things that I make, I will put a little bit of this vintage trim, pink daisy trim, and then it's got this coordinating paper on this side, so I just love these colors. It's such a happy journal. And here is a vintage daisy playing card in an actual vintage seed packet. And another little Project Life card tucked in this pocket here. So it's like a two-way pocket there. More of the bees, and here is a recipe card with a little fabric tab. And look at this little girl in her 1960s splendor. She's got daisies behind her and daisy in her hair, and thought she looked good on this page with these colors. There's a teeny little fabric flip that is also a little notebook, a little journaling spot. And this is a very old piece of fabric there. Okay, there's some daisy postage stamps in this little glassine bag. Another piece of the yearbook, or another page from the yearbook. Here's another great daisy playing card. A sweet girl with daisies in her hair. There's a tag. I placed this actual vintage handkerchief in here. It's quite old also. I have so many daisy things that I've collected. My store, my Etsy shop, Vintage Joys and Jewels, I've always sold vintage items there. So I have a lot of vintage items to work with when I make my journals. Here is another backside of the vintage crafting book. Some more little journal cards, these cute little Timmy people, as Gail Augustinelli would call them. I always smile when she says that. Timmy people. But these girls are adorable. They're dilly-dallying. Okay. This is between the signatures. Second signature, this is a little dolled up Project Life card. More Daisy digitals. This is a page that I played with a little bit with some mica. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on there or not, and some inks. I think they were sprays. This is an old favorite scrapbook paper that I made into this little envelope pocket, and made this little fun tag with a stencil and some little cutout die cut daisies tucked in there. There we go. One of my favorite little red lead paper craft stamps, little fairy, and she's got a daisy behind her back. This is probably another one of my favorite spreads in this journal. More Timmy people, and an old scrapbook page. It says Create Joy. And I thought those all kind of match nicely. And the happy page, these two sisters are friends. This you can add a photo behind, or just any kind of an image. It's just kind of a vellum pocket. And here is a fabric pocket. It's got the Liberty of London fabric and the little mason jar fabric, and a tag and a journal card, and oh, and also the dotted Swiss vintage fabric is in there as well. Some vintage music lesson paper. This is some vintage gift wrap. Little side tuck. This is also some vintage Holly Hobby gift wrap. How can you not love a bit of Holly Hobby if you were a little girl in the 60s and 70s, as I was? This is, let me try to, shaker page. These, sorry, probably shaking you all over the place, but these will disperse all throughout there. There's little daisies and colorful confetti in there. The journal's been closed up for a while, so they probably all kind of migrated to the center. This is some great old flocked scrapbook paper that I made, covered a window junk mail envelope with, and inside of here is this tag on this side that has the bees and such, and on this side, or I guess from the top, is that right? I'm sorry. No, it's just that one tag. I forget. This girl in this window is stationary, so she doesn't come out. She's just collaged in there. You could, however, take the tag if you weren't especially fond of that and move the tag so that it would cover her, I think. Okay, anyway. Another hand-colored page. Holly Hobby gift wrap. Another handmade tag. It says Spread Sunshine. We're getting there. Okay, here's more bumblebees. Little envelope that has a tag, little birdie tag in it. Lots of journaling, lots and lots of room for journaling in here. This will make a wonderful gift. Here is a photo copy of a doily, and it creates a tuck. There's a coffee dyed card behind it, but anything could be placed there. This is the back side. Some fun papers. This little pocket has a journaling tag as well as a Happy Sunshine playing card. It says Daisy Garden. This is a piece of vintage stationery with some daisies on it, tucked in this little place back here. And what's in here? It's a little envelope. Oh, there's something in there. Looks to me like postage stamps and a Project Life card. So there's a little surprise in there. Okay. And focus on the good. A little journaling place. Vintage atlas with some vintage trim. And we are getting to the end. Here's some more of that vintage dotted Swiss. And the very last page, to which I added this vintage greeting card that has these beautiful embossed daisies. It says best wishes, and it's a birthday card that you can actually give to someone. It's not been used. It's from probably the 50s, so it's quite old, but did it not just fit perfectly in there, so I wanted to share it. So this is the Daisy Journal. Lots of little bells and whistles, very happy and cheerful, and it is in my Etsy store. So if you are interested, you can find it there, Vintage Joys and Jewels. Thank you for spending time to flip through this journal with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.